Good morning, everybody. You are listening to 89.1 FM, WXVU, The Roar, Villanova student-run radio. It's currently 11:46 a.m. on this gloomy, rainy Monday morning, but don't worry about that at all because it's time for Fun in the Locker Room, your favorite sports radio show where we have some fun in the locker room, recapping everything in the world of sports, discussing hot takes, making predictions, and much, much more. We're a radio show every Monday. We say 11:30, but be ready by 11:30, but we'll probably be on by 11:40. But we also have a YouTube channel where we post all of the recordings of the episodes in case you missed a show or you want to go back and listen to some of Sean's outrageous takes. So make sure to go on there. Same name, Fun in the Locker Room. And then we have a Twitter that these two work really hard on to make polls and engage with fans. And we just like interacting with you guys as much as possible. So make sure to go on to Twitter, download the app if you don't have it, and hit us with a follow. As always, I'm Truett Carstetter, joined by my great co-host Liam Holloway, Sean Rankle, and we have a lot to talk about today. Week 4 just recapped. We're just finished with the NFL, so we definitely have a lot to go into there. It's been some interesting football this season. It's a lot of 500 teams out there, but we'll talk about that when we go through our overreactions and, as always, our game recaps, and then our Monday Night Football picks, which I'm pretty happy about. Took the dub this past weekend, but we will cover some MLB as well. Trivia, as always. MLB playoffs are really right around the corner, and there's a lot of games that happened this past week that have a lot of implications for the playoff seeding, so that's always exciting. And if we have time, we'll try to get into some NBA. But let's start, as we always start our shows, with the overreactions / hot takes, takeaways from Week 4 of the NFL season. Happened yesterday. Sean, what do you have?
The New York Giants are 3-1 for the first time since 2004, and they are a scrappy football team, and I believe they will finish over 500 this season for the first time since 2015.
I missed those outrageous takes of yours. I'm glad they're back.
I came and wanted to say they make the playoffs. I try to taper it down a little bit. I feel like I've become a more mature Giants fan in my years, of all this heartbreak and pain. So over 500, 3-1. That's only 6 more wins. They go 6-something over the last couple of years. Like, they'd be fine. I'm not concerned. 6-6. If they go 500 for the rest of the season, they will go over 500 for the year.
It's very doable, Rank.
It is.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. They play one stretch. Oh, excuse me. That's the Cowboys, not the Giants. I assume they'd have okay, here's their stretch. Jaguars, Seahawks, Texans, Lions. They could win all 4 of those games right there. I mean, they play the Commanders twice, too. The Colts again at the end of the season. The Vikings aren't good. I think they could definitely get
pretty
6 more
easy
wins.
back end of the schedule after Packers, Ravens coming up next 2 weeks.
Yeah, these next 2 weeks are going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, but it's really looking like, if you could split the series with the Eagles, split the series with the Commanders, and get some wins against the Colts, Vikings. Yeah, I mean, it's looking very doable for sure.
Yeah, I think what we've learned in the NFL these days, I feel like 9-8 can get you into the playoffs, potentially in the wild card. So like maybe they're in the competition for this last wild card spot. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But for right now, I'm pleasantly surprised and very happy about the Giants season so far.
But it's pretty wild. Aren't they tied for second in the division?
No, the Eagles are 4-0.
What about the Cowboys? 3-1.
I think Cowboys are 2-2. No, you're right. The Cowboys are 3-1. We're tied with the Cowboys.
That's crazy. If you had told me last year that 3-1 would have you in third place for the NFC East, I would have said you're crazy.
I guess my other takeaway is the East Coast, the AFC East and the NFC East are 2 of the best divisions of football. Only divisions with the undefeated teams: the Dolphins, the Bills, the Giants, the Eagles, the Cowboys. Some of the best teams in football.
Let me think about that real quick. I'm gonna say yes, but that's only because I feel like a lot of teams this season that people have predicted to be very well have really underperformed. Like, we'll talk about the AFC West at some point, but there's a lot of teams, underperforming there. The NFC West, which is usually historically pretty strong, has kind of looked a little weak outside the Rams. NFC North, the Packers and Vikings are kind of equally looking shaky. So I'm gonna give you that now. AFC North as well, which we'll get into. Ravens and
the South is just terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, I really don't have any counter arguments to that. So I'm gonna surprisingly say yes.
Yeah, my counter argument is that it's week 4.
That's fair.
That's a good counter.
It's gonna. I think by week 8, it's gonna be completely different. It's gonna be a completely different picture.
The Eagles could still be 8-0
They could be.
easily.
Giants could be 7-1. We don't know.
Yeah, that's not happening. We're not going into. We're playing Baltimore at home. Maybe. Baltimore's not that good anymore. Anyway, Liam, go to your take. What's your takeaway from the weekend?
I had a rough weekend of sports. So for my take, I'm just going to choose to be a hater, and the Texans will go winless this season. I not basing that off of anything. I'm just in a bad mood. Couple different games got me really down this weekend, and I need to take out my misery on another team. So it's you, the Houston Texans. You guys stink, and you're not going to win a game.
Wow, that's just really kind of mean.
I mean, looking at their schedule, though, I mean, who are they going to beat? Like, maybe they'll sneak a win against the Jags or the Colts, but besides
the Jags are good this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see the Texans winning a game.
No love for Davis Mills at all?
None.
Zero. Lovie Smith should not be a head coach in this NFL. I don't know how he keeps getting a job. He went to Illinois and did terrible, and then he comes back for a year and gets a job in the NFL.
He was horrible on the Bears, too.
He's a terrible head coach who keeps getting jobs for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you look at this roster, and when your best player is Brandon Cooks.
A washed Brandon Cooks.
Or rookie Damon Pierce, the running back.
Yeah, it's not looking too bright for sure.
Philip Dorsett's on this team? Wow.
Rex Burkhead.
O.J. Howard.
I mean, this is just a team, searching for an identity post Deshaun Watson and
Laramie Tunsil.
Rasheem Green. He was on the Seahawks.
They're going to be 0-16-1.
Yeah, they're not going to have a win. Actually, they could tie someone again. That would be hilarious.
Imagine 15-2. They tie the Colts again.
Oh god.
But yeah, that's my take. Hater take right there.
All right, I think that's all we need to say about that, really. My take is looking at the AFC North and the Ravens in particular. I don't think the Ravens are going to make the playoffs, and it's a tough take considering that division's not really as strong as we thought it was going to be. But blown lead to the Bills, and I'm going to let Liam do the Lamar Jackson analysis in a second, but because Lamar was not on his A game like usual. Mm-hmm. But still, there's a lot of things just not really clicking. Like, I don't really understand that coaching decision at the end. If you listen to John Harbaugh speak about it, like he was talking about how something about how the hindsight, yes, don't go for it, but the analytics said yeah, which I don't really understand, to be honest. But sure, go for that if your analytics said do it. But obviously that costs you the game, and I think at that point in the game you just take the points for sure. You see Marcus Peters had to be separated from the coach at the end, screaming in his face. That's really not a good look for the team. The defense has been so underwhelming recently, pretty much the entire season, despite having some great personnel. It's really just Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, which I think could only get you so far. And you look at the schedule, and it's not the easiest of schedules. You play the Bengals, which is, that could go either way.
That's a big game because these are both 2-2 teams in that division.
Yeah,
that's a big divisional game there.
I mean, it's not a terrible rest of the schedule. You still got to play the Bengals twice. If the Broncos ever figure it out, that could be an issue. The Bucks, playing Tom Brady is always another thing. You still got 2 divisional games against the Steelers, 2 against the Browns, which anything could happen no matter where those teams are, momentum wise. And then maybe you chalk up some wins against the Falcons, Panthers, and no offense, the Saints. But yeah, I mean, I could see the Bengals winning this division, even though they haven't been playing that well. And I think there's a chance the wild card teams don't come from this division. So I'm gonna say that's my take. I'd love to be wrong though. I'd love to be wrong about this take, but that's my take. Liam, what do you got?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson did not play well in the second half. Did not play well at all. I guess you can chalk it up to two things, though. I mean, Truett, if they do kick the field goal and go on to win this game, they're 3-1, sitting atop of the AFC. Does that change your take at all? I mean, one coach's decision away from making the playoffs in a Week 4 game.
It's really just the blown leads against the Bills and against the Dolphins. Like,
So,
yes, they're two good teams.
The two best teams in the AFC.
But I mean, it's different. Like, if they get blown out by those teams versus they're blowing leads, it's just kind of showing that, like, well, if they're letting these, I mean, yes, you're letting great teams back in the game, but like, just to have that tendency, like, who's to say, like the Jaguars can't get let back in the game when they play, and then it's also really just the whole Marcus Peters thing. Marlon Humphrey keeps tweeting.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Marlon Humphrey doing that.
I'm
just
not
take your loss, man.
I'm not super confident in this take. Again, I'd love to be wrong, and I could see myself easily being wrong, but it was just the momentum. Momentum's a big deal in football, and it's really not going their way at all.
Yeah, I think their division's way too weak for them not to make the playoffs. The Browns and
That's a fair
Steelers,
point.
looking at the way they've been playing right now, that's 4 wins.
And the Bengals,
Just
we
from
all
there.
have
And
question marks on.
Bengals are, yeah. It's going to be interesting. One of the Bengals wins is against the Jets. And the Jets have been playing well, but it's against the Jets.
Yeah.
You know?
Next week, I think, will be
Yeah.
the telling point. If the Bengals come out there and destroy the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson looks like he played against the Bills last week, then you got to get concerned.
I mean, as an opponent, game playing against the Ravens is pretty easy. Just try and stop Lamar at all costs because nobody else on that team is going to beat you.
Yeah.
And the Bills did a great job in the second half with that. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. The Bills have a great defense.
And they have
they
a
have a
very,
great team.
very young secondary
Yeah.
right now, but still.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen. I just think with 7 teams making the playoffs and that division having 2 teams that are just atrocious, I think the Ravens still have a playoff spot for sure.
If they don't win the division, do you think they get one of the wild card? And this is just really a question about the rest of the AFC, I guess.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, looking at the East, the Jets and the Pats, you can chalk in the Dolphins and Bills both making the playoffs, but the Jets and the Pats finishing above them.
How many chalk on the Chargers? It'd be really come down to, if they didn't win the division, it's coming down to the Ravens, the Broncos, is probably what it's coming down to.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's tough.
It's tough, but
Assuming the Broncos find a way
figure
to
it out,
but,
which they haven't shown any signs of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Good point.
Like, we're just all we keep talking about the Broncos every week. We keep talking about this AFC West, but they have done nothing to prove that they're legitimate, the division we thought they were coming into the season at all.
Again, Russ did not cook versus the Raiders.
No, not at all.
I guess let's jump into we'll jump into the Broncos Raiders game.
We'll start with that one. Yeah. What do you got from that?
Josh Jacobs killed me in fantasy this week for no reason. I saw a couple of memes on Twitter about Devontae Adams being like, please let me go back to Green Bay. Derek Carr went 21 of 34 for 188 yards. Devontae Adams had 101 of those receiving yards.
Wow.
So, I mean, we'll get into this later, but the way Aaron Rodgers has looked, I don't know if that would be the best for him.
Yeah, but Derek Carr just blows my mind every year because I feel like these past couple years he's been a really above-average quarterback. He led them to the playoffs last year.
He was an MVP candidate at one point.
Yeah,
that was a while ago.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
I would have thought him as a top 12 quarterback in this league if I were to build a team around. Just
How's
because
he doing this season?
He's not doing great. Like,
Ooh.
this is their first win.
Ooh.
Devontae Adams has not been getting the ball much. It's just been mind-boggling.
Is the Raiders' season over?
Let's look at who they play.
I'm actually going to blame this on the head coach. Josh McDaniels, the Patriots offensive coordinator, is now the Raiders head coach. And apparently in the offseason, people going to the Raiders training camp said it was the most depressing environment in all of football.
Why? What was the reasoning?
Because Josh McDaniels is trying to be Bill Belichick. He's trying to go in there and act like he's done this. And I think every single coach who's tried to do this realizes Bill Belichick can do this because he's got the reputation, he's got the experience. You can't just go in with there's no backing to you. You're an offensive coordinator getting his first job. You can't go in and set this. Nobody's going to respect you like that.
And it's Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
He deserves the respect. You're not going to respect the offensive coordinator to come in and just start yelling at you. Patriots assistants going to coach is just not effective.
Yeah. What's Matt Patricia in Detroit?
Mike Vrabel is the only guy who's actually done it.
Yeah.
I don't even think he was the assistant. I think he just played for Bill Belichick.
Oof. I'm looking at the Raiders' schedule right now. So they play the Chiefs next week. If they lose that game, They essentially have to rattle off 4 straight wins against the Texans, Saints, Jags, and Colts to be even in competition for a wild card spot. That's going to be tough. The Raiders are looking at some issues right now.
I really don't understand why they're so bad. On paper, I don't understand.
I mean, they have a top whatever wide receiver in the league in Devontae Adams.
Probably top 1.
Yeah, top 1, if not. I mean, Tyreek's been going off, but
Josh Jacobs is a great running
Josh
back.
Jacobs is good running back.
And the defensive ends, like Max Crosby, Jonathan Abram, like two great.
Chandler Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow, wide receiver 2. Darren Waller, tight end.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. Why they're not good.
I feel like every year there's just teams that just blow my mind. Like, why are they not good?
What do you think about this this name, Sean? A cornerback named Rock Yassin. You like that one?
Definitely a real name.
Real name, yeah.
It's got to be a real name. All right, other side of the ball. Broncos are now 2-2. Let's just beat a dead horse at this point.
I know we've talked about, teams being 3-1 that don't deserve it, but this team does not deserve to be 2-2. Not at all.
No. Russ is playing better though. Russ had probably one of his
best game
better
as a
games.
Bronco.
Best
Yeah.
game as a Bronco. It's still mediocre at best.
Still lost.
His best game of my fantasy team. Yeah, it was really exciting for him. Terrible pickup, but he's starting to get some control of his offense. I feel like give it another week and maybe we start seeing him breaking out. But
They beat the Niners by 1 point, and they beat the Texans by a touchdown. Those are the only 2 wins of the season.
You see Russell Wilson has had a
boy.
reception for 1 yard.
How did that happen?
I have no idea.
did you see the other funnier stat that? Switching gears real quick, Zach Wilson has more touchdown passes in the past, more touchdown receptions the past 3 years than Kenny Galladay.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow.
But yeah, I in my mind, I have no faith in the Broncos until they prove me wrong.
Yeah, and their running game did not get to work at all, and maybe give more credit to the Raiders on that. But 85 yards.
Wasn't Javonte Williams? Wasn't he done? Isn't he done for the season?
Is he?
I thought he got injured.
He's on my fantasy. Wait,
I'm almost like
check this.
positive he got injured.
They still have Melvin Gordon.
He had a bad fumble. Did you guys see that? He fumbled it right into the hands of a cornerback. It was bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Javonte Williams is significant knee injury.
yeah.
Expected to miss the rest of the season.
Are you serious? Oh my god.
Sorry, man.
No, that's fine. It's okay.
Russ Wilson was the leading running back for the
Yeah.
Broncos.
To be fair to the Broncos, they had a 68-yard fumble return against them.
Yeah, and
That's killer.
They're not getting blown out in these games. They're just not doing anything to win games. I feel like is my mind.
But yeah, we don't expect these teams we don't expect the Broncos to be barely beating teams.
No.
I mean, I don't think anyone did.
They need to be better.
Because they played well last year. They had a good young wide
Yeah.
receiving core, good young running backs. Like they had a good young team that we all thought was a quarterback away. And when they got Russ, everyone was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna do amazing!" And just haven't lived up to the hype.
Again, 25 first downs for the Raiders yesterday, 12 for the Broncos. You're not going to win many games when the other team has double the amount of first downs as you do.
You just gotta move the ball.
Are we still shaky on Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
I think these two are the worst rookie head coaches between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean a pretty poor start with Week 1 versus Seahawks. Like that, you started on a bad, first game basically.
Do you
coaching-wise.
think either of these head coaches are gonna be fired this year,
throughout the season? You mean?
or even at the end of the year? Like, think either of these guys are coaching Week 1 next year?
I think if the Raiders go what is it now with the new games 4-13?
Yeah.
Then
He's got to be gone.
Probably.
But
Well, yeah.
probably Nathaniel Hackett, I feel like he deserves to be gone. But the Broncos are going to sneak their way into 9-8, something
I
around
100%
there.
agree with you. I think the talent's going to outperform the terrible coaching.
Yeah, they're
has-
going to find a way to do
It
it.
has to give at some point, right?
Yeah.
That they actually put it together.
I don't know.
you
I don't even think
think-
they're going to put it together. I think they're just going to scrape by with these close wins and
they
close losses.
Play the Colts, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Titans, Panthers. I mean,
Who do they play next
some
week?
terrible teams too. They got the Colts next week. So if they sneak by another 1-point victory or something, it'll be 3-2 somehow.
Chargers week after that.
Yeah.
Still got to play the Chiefs twice, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a tough end to their schedules. Chiefs, Cards, Rams, Chiefs, Chargers. Ooh.
Yeah, I go back to your take earlier, Truett. I don't think the Ravens could miss the playoffs with the AFC looking like this.
Yeah. I would revise that take if I had the chance, but can't do that. I don't really want to bring this up, but I feel like this is because of how monumental it is. We have to bring up the Bengals-Dolphins game, Thursday night game. Very unfortunate situation with Tua and the independent neurologist that they brought in that was fired over a lot of mistakes, that involved clearing him. And anyone that saw that video or was watching it live, pretty scary situation. I actually don't even really know the details of like how long he's going to be out or anything. I don't know if you guys do.
I don't think I have a timetable out.
From just by looks, didn't look good.
It blows my mind that people get concussions can come back in a week.
No, Tua came back in the same game after he got hit last week.
But even guys who go through concussion protocol are back in a week or two.
It doesn't make any sense, especially for your franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, you built this team around him, kind of. Like, you have Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. You don't need to be doing all this in week 4.
They need better rules in place to protect these guys.
Yeah.
Like, to stop them from being able to come back on the field this early. Because obviously, Tua's a competitor, and he wants to be back out there. Like, he's definitely pushing the doctors to come back. Like, he wants to play. But
at the end of the day,
you need somebody to be able to say, no, you can't play because for your long-term health.
It's week 4. You don't need to risk it right now. There's no reason to.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys want to touch on anything else in this game or just go to the next one.
Bengals picked up a little bit, played better.
I mean,
they're settling in a little bit.
The Bengals scored, 13 unanswered in the fourth quarter. If they didn't do that, they lose the game. So it's still a little bit of worry there. They had to have Tua.
With Tua, the Dolphins would have won this game.
Yeah, if Tua didn't come out, the Bengals would be 1-3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's kind of their only win, again, against the Jets.
With
the Bengals got some issues.
With such a loaded AFC we thought going into this year, I would argue there's like 3 teams I would actually trust to go to the Super Bowl.
Chiefs, Bills, Fins.
Well, yeah, with
I
Tua.
don't know about the Fins.
With Tua healthy, if Tua's healthy, it's the Chiefs, Bills, Fins.
Yeah.
Is it a hot take to just like say like a lot of teams in the NFL are just like bad this year?
Yeah. I don't know. That's not a hot take.
They are.
Why does it just seem like there's been like bad football being played this season?
I don't think there has.
It has been bad
football. A lot of underperformers this year.
There's just a lot of surprises. Like I feel like there's a lot of parity in the NFL right now,
which is good. It's generally,
but there's
good.
no like crazy there's some great teams, but there's nothing like
I'd rather have
step below them.
I'd rather have parity because everyone's good than parity because everyone's garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Which it seems like it's kind of more the latter.
I agree.
Here you go. Falcons, Seahawks, Bears are all 2-2. The Jets are 2-2. The Jags are 2-2. The Browns are 2-2.
Browns are 2-2. Like it's.
I mean, to be fair, it's week 4.
Yeah, and I think
it is early.
I think we've seen it over the past couple of years with the fact that NFL teams are not playing their stars less and less in the preseason. That it takes a little bit from the ramp up in the regular season now.
Yeah, they'll start to figure it out. I think the good teams will begin to rise a little more. Right now, it's just chaos and mayhem. It's pretty awesome though.
And like last year, we thought the Chiefs were not gonna playoffs, and then they rise up. Like the good teams are going to prove themselves, and I think the teams like the Chargers, teams like the Bengals, will start to like get a little better, settle in.
All right, you want to go Giants Bears?
Yeah.
Take it away, Sean.
Saquon Barkley had another amazing game, 146 rushing yards. Dan Jones got hurt, came out of the game. Then Tyrod Taylor got a concussion, so Dan Jones came back in the game. Saquon played a little quarterback for a little bit, but another hard-fought, gritty win.
Sorry, say that again. Saquon played a little quarterback?
Yeah.
I saw he was in the Wildcat.
He did. He played a little quarterback for a couple of plays on the drive because Dan Jones hurt his ankle, so hopefully he's back and ready to go for next week. I think my big question for you guys, because I've been struggling with this one, is what do you do with Saquon? Because he's a free agent this offseason. I think we've seen in the past that large running back contracts never work out. You're not winning a Super Bowl with a large running back contract. So what do? Do you trade him? Do you let him go for nothing? Like, it's such a painful thing for me right now because I want him to there and I want us to do stuff because this is the best season we've had. There's also the part of me like, we don't have a quarterback. We're not winning a Super Bowl this year or winning a Super Bowl next year. Like, what are we doing with him?
I think you got to trade him, but like The only team that I think has the capacity to take on Saquon and give you guys something decent in return is the Bills.
Yeah.
And I don't want you guys to do that because the Bills, that wouldn't be fair.
And
but
what do you think you get from like a
you got to trade him.
third round pick?
You got to
second
get
round pick?
something for. You can't just let him walk. You got to get something.
Then you're getting rid of the season where they were 3-1. It's just such a painful process to me.
I
Like,
don't know.
sure,
You could get more than a third round pick.
Yeah.
Didn't Marquise Brown just go for a first?
Yeah, but he's a running back.
And picks are so overrated in the NFL too.
What was your
They're worth
question? You were gonna
nothing.
ask?
If I guess never mind, you traded Russ, but like, would you have? I don't know.
You got to try and get something. Try and get a couple players back, young guys. You know.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's gonna be traded, and it's a little sad.
It is sad, but that's
Trade
how
at
it
the end of
goes.
the season.
No, they need to trade at the trade deadline.
Oh.
He can't be traded at the end of the season because then he'll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's a free agent.
Yeah,
If he's
just walk.
gone, he's at the deadline.
Tough situation.
Depends how they're doing, Sean. If they're in a position to fight for a playoff spot,
What's
You
the
can't
record?
trade
What's the
him.
record?
they have to be two or three above 500
I agree. If they're
to
like,
not trade him.
if they're like 6-4, 7-4, something like that.
If he keeps this up, his value is going to be the highest it ever will be. You could get probably a first and a player for him or something like that.
If you can get a first and a player, I trade him right now.
You got.
You have to.
If he keeps this up, I think you could definitely get that for
Because
him.
the first could lead to a quarterback.
Yeah,
So sell high, basically.
you have to sell high.
Because it's only his second year he's been healthy. Like, I love the guy, but he can't stay on the field.
Running backs
Running
don't
backs
stay
can't
healthy.
stay on the field. It's not even his fault. It's his running backs in the position.
Yeah.
Like, look at the Panthers. They pay all this money for Christian McCaffrey. They haven't made the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Titans pay all this money for Derrick Henry. They haven't gotten out of the second round of the playoffs. Like,
It's amazing
Yeah.
Saquon came back and is doing so well.
he's a great athlete.
Yeah.
And he spent those terrible years where he just wasn't utilized correctly. But now he's utilized correctly. See what we can do.
Now it's time to get rid of him.
That's it for me for Giants Bears. You want to talk about Cowboys Commanders? Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush is looking pretty well. I mean, pretty good. Excuse me.
Better than Dak.
Like, do you think there's a controversy? I know
No.
Jerry Jones came out when Cooper Rush started. And he's like, I hope by the time Dak comes back, we have a quarterback controversy.
Yeah.
Are we approaching that?
I think Jerry Jones hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I don't think so. I think you have too much invested in Dak. It's a partly like politics thing, partly. I think you just owe it to Dak. He's got to come back. I don't.
Cooper Rush hasn't lost him a game yet.
We've seen quarterbacks in the past who have come in and taken over jobs from.
Tom Brady.
Yeah. Cooper Rush is older, which is my
Aaron
problem,
Rodgers.
but
Yeah.
Are you comparing Cooper Rush to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady? Is that what you just did?
Hey, as of right now, I mean,
and Patrick Mahomes came
I
in for
mean-
Alex Smith.
Cooper Rush played better than Aaron Rodgers this week.
I think
He's
you
played
start,
better than Aaron Rodgers this season.
the second Cooper Rush loses, you just throw Dak in there, but until then, you got to ride it.
Hey, to be fair though, the Cowboys defense has been really.
Oh
really
my
good.
God.
They've been really, really good.
Yeah.
They haven't allowed over 20 a game yet.
Yeah.
This was probably Cooper Rush's best passing game though of the season, I think.
But we'll see. I mean, they got the Rams and the Eagles coming up their next 2 weeks.
If
It's gonna be
if he
test.
wins those two
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
He's got.
I will eat my words.
starter.
I will eat
Right?
my words.
If the Cowboys are 5-1, Cooper Rush 5-0 as a starter.
I will eat my words.
There you go.
100%.
I get him.
Jets Steelers. Touch on that a little bit.
I think we were all right.
Yeah.
We called
Yeah.
it last week. We looked at the schedule and we're like, if Kenny Pickett's going to play, he's playing this week.
Well, he had to, and it's a shame that he didn't start the game. I know he had 3 picks, but come on,
There's only 3 completions too.
Trubisky, it wasn't working.
No.
It wasn't working at all. Why even throw him out there again?
The offense looks stale under
Yeah,
Mitch, but like
poor
you get a little
Najee.
bit under Pickett.
Najee that offensive line is bad. Yeah. Poor Najee.
Congrats to the Jets.
Yeah, again another comeback win. Scored 2 touchdowns in the last 8 minutes.
These guys
Came back
they
and
got
won.
fight. They got fight.
And I wanted to start the show with saying the Jets will also be a 500 team. And then I looked at the schedule and there's no way they do that.
Who are they playing?
Well, just look at their division.
Fins,
Well,
Packers,
true.
Broncos. They could beat the Pats twice.
But then they play like the Vikings, the
They still
Bills,
got
the
the Bills
Lions,
twice.
Jaguars, Dolphins. Like
Yeah, they got the Finns and the Bills twice. That's
they still have the
4
Dolphins
losses.
twice, the Bills twice. Like
Yeah.
that's 4 losses right there.
Yeah.
They played well. Zach Wilson's like getting better. I feel like you have a little more faith in Zach Wilson.
No way. Their one primetime game is against the Jags. Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football,
Night Football.
Jets, Jags.
What is that, week 16? Because what is it, 18
No,
weeks now?
you're wrong. That's Thursday Night Football. That's the
Oh.
Thursday Night Football game.
Oh, darn.
That fits the Thursday Night Football
Yeah, I guess
mantra.
that makes sense.
Totally
Yeah.
fits it. Totally.
It's gonna be a color rush game. The Jets are gonna be in the
That's going to be
greens. And
sick.
you get the mustard
Dude,
yellows
who
of the
knows?
Jaguars.
That could be a good game. We don't know. Probably not. Happy for the Jets, though.
Yeah, good for them.
And the Jaguars 2-2.
It's
Yeah.
fucking weird. It's weird.
The Steelers are they got some issues though. I mean,
I think they have a
both
quarterback
sides
issue.
both sides of the ball, their defense has not looked good.
Is TJ Watt still? TJ Watt's out.
He's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Najee, Liam.
I drafted him 7th in our league, and he hasn't scored. I don't think he's scored a touchdown this year. Let's see. Oh, he's got 1 touchdown this year. 1.
He's got no room to do anything.
Yeah, his offensive line, they don't help him at all. And his quarterback is dreadful.
If you're a defense, you stack the box.
Yeah.
Just to say,
That's what they've been doing.
dare you to Kenny
But
Pickett or Mitch Trubisky to beat us.
That's what's nice about Kenny Pickett, though. He can run.
Yeah.
Having Trubisky in there, Trubisky can't move. So they just stack the box every time. Pressure, pressure, pressure. You can't run the ball. You have to throw it. Trubisky has no arm. Cannot throw the ball downfield to save his life. With a good receiving core, too. I don't know what the Steelers were thinking not starting Pickett from day one. I really don't know. Because now he's going to start against who do they have on their schedule? We looked at it last week, but they don't have an easy schedule coming up these next couple of games. So if you don't toss him into the fire versus
his first start is the Bills.
yeah, you don't toss him into the fire versus the Pats, the Browns, and the Jets. He's got the Bills, the Bucks, the Finns, and the Eagles coming up the next 4 games.
I think we would argue those are some of the 4 best teams in
rough.
football.
I
That's
think
rough.
Mike Tomlin
That's
made a
rough.
big mistake. Big mistake not starting Kenny Pickett from day one.
I've never been the biggest Mike Tomlin fan. I think he's overrated as a coach. That might be another discussion for another time.
He's been there forever.
Yeah.
He's probably I think he's the second longest tenured head coach behind Belichick
Yeah.
with the team. Because Andy Reid's been around for a while, but he has been with the Chiefs for as long.
Yeah. I wonder how long Pete's been there.
I don't know. I have a couple buddies that are huge Steeler fans. They wanted Pickett to start day one.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it doesn't hurt. Look, the Pats, the Browns, and the Jets. Is it really a matter of if Trubisky's going to be your quarterback or if Pickett?
I think there's always the debate, though, is throwing these guys in too early when they're not prepared. How does it damage their things, like giving guys time to sit and watch? I don't know. There's always been a debate about what to do with the rookie quarterbacks.
I mean, looking at who he's going to play next,
I know.
I'd rather have him have that experience.
You want him? You think it's worse for him to just ride Trubisky, take these 4 L's, and then throw him in against the Saints, or have Kenny Pickett go out there and hurt his confidence maybe and see
Well,
what he does?
Pickett, if he doesn't play this year, he's going to play next year. He's got to play at some point.
Yeah.
I'd rather have him play against the Pats, the Browns, and the Jets than start off against the Bills, Bucks, Finns, and Birds. That's just me, though.
No, I'm
I don't
with
know.
you on
Yeah.
that. I mean, if he's throwing 3 picks against the Jets, he's gonna have
Yeah.
a fun time.
He's gonna have
That Bills defense, man.
Wait, who's
Oof.
the guy? Who's the Bills quarterback?
Peterman?
Yeah,
Nathan?
Nathan
Nathaniel?
Peterman.
Yeah.
Nathan Peterman type of game. 5
yeah.
picks.
Yeah. We'll see. I do like Pickett can run, though. Scored 2 touchdowns on the ground.
There you go.
It's got to be redeeming.
Yeah.
Better than Trubisky.
Let's talk about
that.
another QB who I think a lot of people thought was gonna be bad, but is playing, I'd say, pretty well. A little biasedly. I'm gonna go with Geno Smith. Geno Smith is better than Russell Wilson statistically this season. Russell Wilson through 4 games this season, 80 of 131. So that's 61.1%. 980 passing yards, 4 tutties, 1 pick. Geno Smith through the same amount of games, 102 of 132, which is a 77.3% completion percentage.
That's Drew Brees-esque.
Wow. 1,037 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Is Geno Smith for real?
And those 2 teams have the exact same record.
Is Geno Smith for real?
What do you mean by for real?
Yeah.
Is he a starting quarterback in the NFL?
No. He's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He should not be.
He looks so composed in the pocket. And I think I have noticed the O-line is better, the O-line is better. So he's getting a lot more time than Russell Wilson ever had. But he just looks very composed, like very calm. He's not a runner, but he can get out of the pocket. He did get a nice little run, at one point in the game. But I got to pull up his stats specifically to see the running. But I mean, it doesn't look like the panic I thought it was going to look like before, like the try and pull something out of our butt to win games. It's like there's a legit game plan. Rashad Penny's been playing well. The rookie Kenneth Walker has been playing kind of well too.
Seahawks a playoff team?
The Cardinals do not look good. They're not going to win the division, but they might get second in that division. NFC West is
Are the Niners?
Niners haven't. I mean,
they're
they
1-2. They're playing
tonight.
the Rams tonight.
This is a big game.
Mm-hmm.
Rashad Penny had 151 yards and 2 tutties.
How's Geno looked in the 2 losses, though? I feel like we're getting hyped over these 2 wins, but I feel like he's done nothing in the 2 losses.
Yeah, to be fair, a win against the Lions, have most points in the NFL.
Offensively,
average.
been amazing.
Their defense is garbage. They're 1-3.
Yeah.
I mean, he did tear up. You saw what happened week 1 against the Broncos. He did. He was, what was he, 17 for 18 at one point or something?
In the first half, and then he did nothing in the second half.
Still, a win's a win.
I feel like Geno Smith has put together 1.5 football games so far this year, and I'm never ready to anoint him as the second coming
they did
of...
lose against the Falcons.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't play terrible that game. He threw the ball 44 times.
My God, if your team
against the
is Geno
Falcons.
Smith.
I mean, 555 yards on offense is pretty good as a team collectively. Yeah. Yes, it's against the Lions. And yes, the Lions also had 520, which a lot of question marks going into this defense. If you let Jared Goff have almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I mean, to be fair, the Lions do have offensive weapons. Jamal Williams, TJ.
Amon St. Brown was out.
St. Brown didn't
St. Brown didn't even play.
Never mind, then.
And they did this.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you know what? Is it bold to say if the Seahawks don't make the playoffs, it's not because of Geno, it's because of the defense?
I don't think that's bold at all. I mean, he's throwing to DK, Tyler Lockett. You have Rashad Penny. You have some guys you can throw to.
Better O-line.
Yeah. Time will tell.
Defense is special teams, great. Jason Myers is
reliable. I'll give it to you.
Michael Dixon's reliable.
The defense is the problem if they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
As of now. If they miss the playoffs today, I would say it's the defense.
You can't give up 45 points to the Lions.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm going to echo Liam's point. It is week 4.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything in context. All right, we're going to think about what games we're going to talk about before we get into Monday night and trivia. But excuse me, we do have a word from our sponsor, actually coming from WXVU. Check out WXVU's podcast feed, available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Listen to all WXVU shows and interviews on demand. Just search WXVU on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I actually didn't even know that. So if you do want to listen to these again, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, still go to our YouTube channel, though. And also check out WXVU's all-new website, see our full show schedule, DJ profiles, our blog and news feeds, and listen live through our site. Log on to WXVU.org today. I also didn't even know that we had DJ profiles, so that's pretty cool. Everyone prepare yourself for the earthquake, the rage-shattering earthquake that's going to happen when we talk about Saints-Vikings. Personally, one of the worst things I had to witness was watching Liam watch the end of that game. So I'm going to open the floor to him.
I was going to say I'm going to keep this quick, but I don't know if it's going to be quick. We go into this game without Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and Jameis Winston. We don't have a shot. The NFL absolutely did us in this week. Phantom hands to the face on a 3rd and 7. Illegal hands to the face on Tyrann Mathieu. There was nothing there. Vikings get another chance at a drive to drive down the field with 4 minutes left to either win the game or kick a game-tying field goal. A game-winning field goal, excuse me. So they have that phantom illegal hands to the face on 3rd and 7. Mike Pereira, they call him down. Yeah, that shouldn't have been called. That was ridiculous. The very next drive, they call PI on Lattimore when Thielen rips his face mask to the side so that he can't look at the ball anymore as the ball is being thrown, and they call it defensive pass interference. Mike Pereira, again, comes down, says, oh, this shouldn't have been defensive. This should have been offensive, if anything. Fix your refs. How are they having these mistakes week after week? And I don't want to hear, oh, every team gets bad calls. No, every team doesn't get bad calls against them. The Saints are never on the good end of a bad call. It happens every week, week after week. We come down the field, Will Lutz hits a 60-yard game kick to tie it. Boom. Marshawn gets torched by Justin Jefferson, who for some reason is in one-on-one coverage with no safety help. That doesn't make any sense. And then I don't want to talk about this anymore. Nobody thought the Saints had a chance, and they only lost by 3. We can go on to another game.
Sean, anything you want?
He doesn't. We don't need to talk about this
we
anymore.
Andy Dalton should be the starting quarterback rest of the year.
I agree, but there needs to be some parity with these refs.
It's ridiculous. I feel like
it is ridiculous.
In general, they allow too much. Wide receivers allowed to do too much offensively. Like they don't call a single offensive penalty on a wide receiver.
They never do.
It's always the defense's fault.
Always.
And they call it way too easily. DPI is like, you breathe on him and they call it foul.
And they didn't call it on Chris Olave when he got fouled. The next drive. Same thing. They dragged his arms down. He couldn't catch the ball, and they didn't call it. Have some parity. If you're gonna blow the whistle on every play, do it. If you're not gonna blow the whistle on every play, don't. But don't call it for one team. You have to call it for both teams. It's getting ridiculous. The argument that, it happens to every team, that's garbage. It doesn't happen to every team. It happens to a couple teams in particular. If you've watched the Lions at all, I know I've seen compilations of the Lions getting destroyed by calls. The Lions and Saints are always on the back end of calls, and I hate it. Let's talk about the Chiefs and the Bucks.
Chiefs-Bucks, that was last night's game. Chiefs, the scoreboard doesn't really tell the whole story. The Chiefs ran away with this thing pretty early on. Tom Brady. What's our confidence level in him looking like?
He had a better second half, but
this is his best game all year.
Father Time is coming, Tom. Father Time is coming. It's not your league anymore, man. All I'm saying is if the refs don't screw us out of this game, we make one stop against the Vikings, we're tied with the Buccaneers.
We're back on that game.
I, to be honest, have more faith in Tom Brady now than I did last week. This was by far his best game. 385 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, only sacked once, QBR of 74. Can
we talk about
his best game so far this year?
Can we talk about the 6 rushing attempts?
Yeah, that was
Rashad White. I don't even know who that is.
I was going to say
3
that.
carries for 6 yards, and then Leonard Fournette, who, thank the Lord, because I was playing against him in fantasy, and I barely won because of his 3 carries,
for
negative 3 yards.
How do you run the ball 6 times in a football game?
Because the Chiefs have the best rushing defense in the league.
It doesn't matter. You got to establish something.
This is terrible. Tom Brady threw the ball 52 times.
This is a bad showing.
I'm so happy. I am so happy.
I mean, you look at 39 completions, but 385 yards. That's less than 10 yards. A completion. Yes, 385 yards looks good, but it's not like you're not establishing anything. Down the line. It's. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on here.
How do you win a game? You can't win a game throwing a ball 52 times with your 40-something-year-old quarterback.
Well, when you have 3 rush yards the entire game, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Their longest run was 4 yards yesterday.
It was a bit concerning when I think we were watching the game, and they were on the 1-yard line, and twice in a row threw it.
They wouldn't give it to Fournette on the 1.
Yeah, it was really weird.
I don't know why they're not doing it. Is there some problem there?
You're telling me you don't have a running back on your roster that can get you 1 yard in 3 or 4 attempts?
I think every team in the NFL has a guy that should be able to do that.
Give it to an offensive lineman if you have to. Jeez. You got to establish some sort of run game. You have to do.
They were
sort
down
of running game.
14-3 early. That was the big problem, and they were trying to claw their way back, which they couldn't do. Other side of the ball, Patrick Mahomes is looking amazing.
That like spin move flick thing. That
Yeah.
was pretty sick. That
He's
was
looking
pretty
like Patrick Mahomes of old. He's legit. Chiefs are the favorite in the AFC.
I'd say it's still them Bills, healthy Dolphins. Can you even say that anymore?
Chiefs, Bills, and the
Yeah,
Dolphins
Chiefs,
are one
Bills.
notch below, like one notch below. Because they've improved
If
it.
Tua was healthy,
Even still, one notch below because they just haven't
Okay.
improved yet.
that's fair. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are two of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't think there's any doubt that they're the two top. You can argue Lamar Jackson, but I think he's still like 3.
Yeah. He's 3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Slandered for saying that week 1, but
All right, I think it's time to go to. You want to do trivia then Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got 2 trivia. You can do. I'll do the first trivia first for
All
this
right,
one.
let's hear it, baby.
All right. We're the top 4 players with the most games with 3+ interceptions thrown since 2016.
most games with
Top 4, you said?
Top 4 with most games with 3+ interceptions since 2016.
I'm trying to think because usually when you throw 3+, you're not in there too many games longer. Is Peterman in there?
No,
Okay.
no.
Are these well-established quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Russell Wilson might be in there.
No.
No? He has a couple games where he's thrown a lot of picks.
Joe Flacco.
Nope.
Big Ben.
Nope.
Really?
Are these all active guys or?
One's retired, one's a free agent, 2 are active.
One's a free agent. 2 are active.
Only one's a starter currently.
Someone's on the bench.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's 11. 11's the number. The guy who got the most.
Oh my
11
God.
3-pick games?
Yep.
Since when?
2016.
Jeez. Is he active or
He's the guy starting, technically.
technically Andy Dalton?
Nope. He's close though. He's hurt. Same
Is
team.
it Jameis?
Yeah, it's
Oh
Jameis.
yeah, I could have
Wow,
guessed that.
wow,
Yeah. Well, it's 30 for 30 season. That's certainly.
Oh, that's right.
One guy's a free agent, one guy's retired, and one guy's
A backup.
now one guy's a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna need some hints here.
2 of the guys are associated with the Panthers.
Cam?
Cam's the free
Really?
agent guy.
Interesting.
Another guy from the Panthers.
Who's the backup on the Panthers?
As
oh,
there was-
yeah.
It's not Darnold, is it?
Yeah, it is Sam
Wow.
Darnold.
Sam Darnold did that fast.
Yep.
That was really
I
fast.
guess being on the Jets during that
The
time.
last
though,
guy's
did
retired in the past. I think he retired last year, technically, but he's been on. No, 2 years ago he retired.
too. Well known.
Well known.
It wasn't Big Ben.
Debatably a Hall of Famer. Strong debating.
Philip?
Philip Rivers.
Yeah,
Dude,
Phil.
that's I could have seen that. Wow.
Interesting.
Do you want the other NFL trivia question right now?
Sure, go for it.
All right. 4 guys in NFL history have had 300+ receiving yards in a game. Only 4 guys have done this. 2 you're not going to get. I'm going to give you their names.
300+ receiving yards in a game.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this the other day.
Flipper Anderson and Stephon Page. You're not going to get. There's 2 other guys.
Jerry Rice?
No.
Randy Moss.
Nope.
One's
One's active. One's retired.
active.
Julio Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had exactly 300 yards.
Wow.
Other guy. Debatably the best wide receiver in NFL history.
I said Jerry Rice already.
No.
There's no debate.
Okay, most talented wide receiver in NFL history then.
It's not Moss. Did we
Is
say
it
that?
Megatron?
Yeah.
Okay. Most dominant, I'll say.
Fine. Yeah. He didn't play
He's
for
like
very long,
the
but his
Shaq.
Most
his
athletic.
time.
Yeah.
Like there's times where he
Oh, yeah.
was hurt and they just threw him out there because they're like, Megatron out there will just take all the coverage to him.
Man.
Good man. R.I.P. Sorry, the Giants wasted that career.
The Lions.
Lions.
Sorry, Lions. I
Don't you
I didn't mean
don't
to say,
you dare
I'm sorry.
insult
I
us
meant to say
more.
Lions. I
Yeah.
meant to say Lions. I'm sorry.
Imagine if they
Let's go Monday Night Football. Last week was Cowboys Giants.
Yikes, Rank.
Only
You're 1 and
W
3.
here.
Rank's 1 and 3.
The only Giants loss of the year. It was a terrible loss. Should have won that game.
Wait, the Niners are favored?
Yeah. Dude, isn't that crazy?
I'm going to go for it.
But they're at home.
I'll start it off because it's
Go
my
for it.
team. Jimmy G, Niners, at home. Winning this game. We're covering 1.5. Let's go Niners.
Saying we.
I hate the Rams, but I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking
here.
the Rams
Yeah.
too. This is kind
Beautiful.
Of it's kind of a no-brainer for me.
What do
This
they
might
always
be
say?
Too easy.
If it's too easy if it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Probably is. The Rams need to. I want them to prove a little something this game. You know, got a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover, especially Week 1. They got smoked.
Isn't like I feel like
They
when
beat
the
the-
Niners and Rams always play, I feel like Kyle Shanahan's been having like the upper hand Sean McVay recently.
That is a good point. It's really there's no like video game or model or prediction thing that could predict this game tonight because it's just like it's a divisional game.
Two of the smartest head coaches in the
Very
football.
smart. I think it's one of those anything could happen type games. I could see the Niners blowing out the Rams. I could see the other way around. I could see a last minute game winner. Like I think anything could happen.
Jimmy G's gonna have an amazing 179 passing yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Is the stat line for Jimmy G tonight, and he will win this game.
I hope the Niners win by 1.
That'd be so infuriating.
That would be perfect for me. The Rams lose and you lose, Rank. That'd be great.
Oh god. Okay. We're gonna go to a quick commercial, and then we're gonna come back with MLB, and we'll see what else we have time for. You're listening to 89.1 FM WXVU, The Roar, Fun in the Locker Room. We'll be right back.
Now, here's your 3-day weather forecast for the main line.
Clouds and chances for showers continue on your Monday, high of 53. We'll see clouds with occasional rain showers tonight, a low down to 45. Rain is likely, heavy at times on Tuesday, a high of 50. And for your Wednesday, we'll continue to see the threat of showers with some clearing in the afternoon, a high of 62.
Here's some V89.1, The Roar, Nova Knowledge. Tolentine Hall is the largest academic building on campus. Some people say it looks like Hogwarts, but we'll leave that up to your interpretation. Here's some V89.1, The Roar, Nova Knowledge. All faculty hold weekly office hours for all of their classes. To stay true to the university policy, Father Peter also holds office hours for students each and every semester.
Now, here's your 3-day weather forecast for the main line.
Clouds and chances for showers continue on your Monday, high of 53. We'll see clouds with occasional rain showers tonight, a low down to 45. Rain is likely, heavy at times on Tuesday, a high of 50. And for your Wednesday, we'll continue to see the threat of showers with some clearing in the afternoon, a high of 62.
Villanova University's WXVU Villanova. Visit our all-new website at wxvu.org. We're on air serving the main line at 89.1 on your FM dial, or stream us anytime, anywhere on the Radio FX app.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to 89.1 FM WXVU, The Roar, Villanova student-run radio. Fun in the Locker Room back at you. Just finished up NFL Week 4, and it's gonna be a little sad baseball segment. So the Mets-Braves series just finished, and am I correct to say it was essentially for the division? Yeah. Essentially for the division. Braves took a nice little sweep. I think I saw somewhere that the Mets had a 79% chance to win the division going into this series, and now like the Braves have like an 81% chance.
They had to win one game. One game out of 3. Go down to Atlanta with your 3 best starters, 3 of the best pitchers in baseball, and they combined for 16 innings and 12 runs? My God. What is this baseball team? Every freaking year. You know, sure, the stat that the Mets have been in first place in the NL East for this entire year except for 3 days. today, yesterday, and some random day in August. And once again, we're not doing the division. Once again, we have to play the Padres, then the Dodgers, and the Braves. Just have a chance to play in the World Series. Every year.
I mean, I don't want to discredit your claim that the Mets are choking, but the Braves have played some incredible baseball too. No matter
We
how
get
many
swept by
games.
the Marlins and the Cubs. We had the easiest stretches of September, and we can't do anything. This series should not have mattered. This division should have been wrapped up before this series.
Yeah, if we did take one game from the Cubs about 3 weeks earlier, this series doesn't matter at all.
Like, yeah, the Braves have played amazing, and our record's still been good, but there's just these games where you just have to win. There's no clutchness. There's no heart in this team right now. It's a completely different team than it was in June.
You can't put up 7 runs in a 3-game series to win the division. You're never going to win when you score 2 runs, and 3 runs, regardless of who you have on the mound. To be fair, our pitchers were terrible. All they gave up, they didn't even give up hits. They gave up home runs. And we didn't hit it. We hit home runs in the last game, but it didn't matter. We didn't have guys on base.
And you see McCann was tipping signs?
Oh, my gosh. He shouldn't be on the team anymore.
He's a terrible catcher. He can't frame to save his life. He can't call a stupid game. Like, ridiculous.
We needed to make trades at the deadline for a catcher and some bullpen help, and we didn't do it. And it came back to bite us in the butt this playoff. Oh my God.
And then instead we traded for these bunch of hitters who can only do one thing. You hit lefties or righties. The other team could just manipulate them. The fact that we had a lefty come in and Vogelback had to come out of this game, and that we had to bring in our 19-year-old catching prospect who played like his 3rd game of the year, had to come in this huge situation. The team is just too easy to be manipulated, guy, by the other team just by pitching changes because we have these platoon guys.
It's sad that, the 1 year, and I want to say since 88 was when the Mets won 100 games. This was the 1 year comparable to the 86 team that won the World Series, and they didn't go out at the break and help this team. How do you not trade for an all-star catcher when that is most obviously our biggest glaring hole? An all-star catcher in Wilson Contreras that we didn't trade for, our biggest hole in the lineup, we don't do it. We don't get anybody for the bullpen. Because, we have 3 starters that are all aces. Oh, they're going to take care of business. Well, they didn't. It would have helped to score some runs. It would have helped to score more than 3 runs in a game this series. You can't win when you score 2 runs, and 3 runs against one of the best teams in the league. You're not going to win. It's sad, that this team might win 100 games, yet still this season's somewhat disappointing because they didn't win the division, because they didn't take care of business earlier. It is sad.
And it's so like, if you would have asked me in the middle of July, I think we had, in the series against the Mets and the Braves, we had a huge lead in that advantage, and we didn't even win the season series.
We were up 8-5 or something at one point.
8-3. It was like ridiculously high.
It was bad.
And we've just blown these. We got swept. We lost 2 out of 3 of them like early in September. We need to win 1 game, 1 freaking game. Can't even do that. Can't even make it close. We didn't even lose the game by 1. It was 2 innings again. Kelly Jansen comes in 1, 2, 3 every time. 1, 2, 3 every time. Oh.
It's just depressing. And right now, I thought for sure we had the division on lock. We were going to be well rested to play whoever comes out of the wild card, but now I'm worried about the wild card. Obviously, against the Nationals, these 3 games don't matter at all.
If DeGrom or Scherzer steps on this mound this weekend, I'm going to be furious.
There's no way that happens. And then we play 3 against the Padres in New York.
Well, we need to win 2 of those. We need to win the first 2.
We're going to win. I want to sweep. I don't want to play. What is it? Is it
It's a best out of 3.
Series?
It's a best out of 3.
I want to win the first 2 games.
We need to win the first 2 because then you have Bassett pitching the first game against the Dodgers. Because if not, then you have Taijuan Walker game 1 against Dodgers versus. That's ridiculous.
You're going to get smacked. It's not looking good right now. I just saw on Twitter that since July 1st, the Braves were on a 114 game win pace since July 1st. This all could have been avoided if they won, if the Mets didn't get swept by the Cubs, if they went out and got their guys at the deadline. But, again, got to be cheap. Can't go out and make moves. It's inexcusable. It really is.
And what even frustrates me more is we have one of the best closers in baseball. And he has not really seen the mound in the past month because we just
hasn't at
can't.
all.
Like, he came in here, he pitched 1, 2, 3 against, who was it who pitched against last night? I don't even know who it was.
Three
Like,
pitches.
3 out.
Down,
like,
yeah.
ridiculous. He can't even get on the mound.
It's very upsetting.
He's pitched 5 times since the middle of September.
Sad.
The last time he got a save, he's got 2 saves in September. That's it.
So I'm wearing my Padres shirt today because the Padres clinched the playoffs. So I'm in a little better spirits, even though we'll probably play you guys and get swept.
I hope so.
And it annoys me
I hope
because
it's not even close. Sorry,
we're not going to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, you know what? These are surpassing my expectations, so I think it's all about perspective here. I'm pretty happy. Anything could happen. But how about Judge? 61? You think
He's stuck, man. He's got to get it.
He's not going to do it.
He's not going to do it.
How many games do they have left?
3?
He had, 11 games to get 2, and he's gotten 1. 3 games left.
He was on fire before.
He's been on fire the whole season.
Would it be a disappointment if he didn't get it?
Yes. If he doesn't get it,
He still holds the record, but he's tying the record.
Very different.
You got to break the record, man. If he doesn't get it, I think there's argument that Shohei could win MVP. And he,
Really?
by baseball terms, Shohei should win MVP. Should win MVP every season. It's like, LeBron in the NBA. But, the narrative's changed this year. He's got to get to 62, though. It's getting a little ridiculous at this point. I mean, to be fair, teams are just walking him left and right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to pitch to him either, but you got to swing a little, man. You got to swing a little. Go out and just try and hit that home run because that's all that matters right now. They're already in the playoffs. They're playing the Texas Rangers, who have nothing to play for. The Rangers have no reason to walk him now, so if he doesn't get it, it's kind of a disappointment.
Other side, or I guess same conference, same league. Mariners making the playoffs? First time since, 2001?
21 years, yeah. 2001 when
Congrats.
they had the most
Did you
wins
guys
ever.
listen to the call?
Yeah.
It was Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, it was
home
pretty
run.
exciting.
Yeah,
It was pretty dope.
It was electric. I'm very proud of the Mariners. Congrats to them.
I'm just upset that the Phillies are in the playoffs.
Did they clinch it?
I think their magic number's 1.
Is there any chance the Brewers make it?
The Phillies need to lose out, and the Brewers need to win out.
So you guys have 3 teams from your division going to the playoffs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Best division baseball.
By far.
Yeah. The Mets never had to play the Braves this season. They'd probably be up there with the Dodgers right now. But
Yeah, Dodgers have, no offense to the Padres, one of the easiest divisions in baseball.
Yeah.
I guess we're not going to be on a show again until probably the NLCS, ALCS is.
When are we coming back?
Because this weekend's going to be the
fall break next week.
Because this weekend will probably be the 3-game series.
Yeah.
I guess it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, something like that.
Yeah.
And then then they'll start the next series. So
I feel like we just have to make predictions now.
yeah, you got a World Series prediction, Truett?
Well, I got the bracket in front of me. If the postseason started today, rapid fire. Let's go Cubs Rays. Who's winning?
Rays.
Rays.
Who?
Cubs Rays.
Cubs? The Cubs aren't in it.
Who's the? Oh, I'm sorry.
Guardians.
The Guardians. Sorry, I saw a C.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm still new to this.
Yeah, you're
Guardians Rays.
straight. Sorry, my bad.
Rays.
Guardians.
Okay. Mariners and Jays.
Mariners.
Blue Jays.
Phillies Cardinals. Cardinals.
Cards.
I'm not even gonna ask Mets, Padres. I
Yeah.
feel like I know what you guys are gonna say. Rays, Yankees. Well, I guess you said Guardians, so
Guardians.
Guardians over the Yankees.
Rays Yankees.
Wow. Okay.
We also both hate the Yankees.
Fair.
Yankees don't show up.
So did you guys both choose Mariners?
No.
I
No.
have Blue Jays.
You had Blue Jays, Astros.
Astros.
Mariners, Astros. Cardinals, Braves.
Cards.
Is that who you want to win, or who you think's gonna
That's
win?
who I think is going to. I think.
Yeah,
the
Cardinals are a playoff
I think
team.
the Cardinals could sneaky win the entire thing. I really do.
I wouldn't mind that.
Okay.
I
Cardinals.
would mind that.
Take off your Mets caps. Mets,
What
Dodgers.
do you, I mean, take them off. I'm still. The Mets are going to win the World Series this year.
Yeah.
Okay. You still got your Mets cap on.
Another NLCS.
Dodgers
Mets
are pretty
Cardinals,
good, man.
Liam, another NLCS Mets Cardinals.
I don't.
Pain.
Anything can happen.
Mets, Cardinals.
Mets.
Mets.
I'm not saying my team's going to lose.
Yeah, we're not like you, Truett.
Okay.
They could lose.
Well, I could say the Padres are gonna win. I'm gonna get bombarded by you guys. So you had Rays, Astros.
Rays. Mets Rays. Playoff. World Series. Book it.
You had Guardians, Astros.
Stros. Mets.
Stros,
Mets win the
Mets.
World Series. Yeah.
God, there was a lot of bias in there.
How am I going to say that they're not?
What do you
the
got,
Mets
Truett?
are going to
Who do
lose
you
to the
have?
Padres round one. Is that what you want me to say?
Who do you think is going to go there?
Do you want me to say
You don't
that?
even go round by round. Just who do you think is going to be in the World Series?
I'm gonna go Dodgers. Dodgers, Astros. I mean, I haven't really watched too much of the Yankees. To
The
be honest.
first, just chalk it up, Truett.
Yeah.
Rock
I'm
chalk.
chalk. It's kind of boring.
You guys are bullying a new baseball fan. I don't like this at all.
You guys want to do the? Is it a real baseball name or not?
Yeah, I think we got time. We got time for that. Also, before we end that, shout out to the Adeline 36ers for beating the Suns in a preseason game.
Nice.
The line was 26.5 for the Suns, and
That seems low.
26.5.
Yeah, it seems like it should be higher. There's college football games that are 50-point spreads.
This is the first time an NBA team has lost in a preseason game to a foreign team since 2016 when the Thunder did, and the Thunder lost to Real Madrid with Luka Doncic.
Oh,
Well,
that's-
so-
Luka Doncic was probably like
Yeah,
12
what
at
was
that
he,
point.
4? Yeah. So
He's still really good. Still
4
really-
years old.
12-year-old Luka's cooking Russ.
It was still the Rush show. Okay, this was the first year with Oladipo. All right, let's jump in.
All right, you ready, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Ioannis Cespedes.
Real.
Sorry,
Real.
sorry.
Real.
What?
Real.
Ioannis
Real.
Cespedes.
Real.
Is that
What type of question is this? Come on, next one. Real name. Real
I
name.
guess I'm going real.
Araldus Chapman.
Real.
Fake.
What?
Albertina
Oh.
Araldus Chapman.
Hey, you didn't give me a chance to answer that. I was gonna say fake.
Okay. Buster Posey.
Buster Posey.
Real.
Fake.
Fake. Gerald
Name's
Dempsey Posey.
Buster, man. Come on.
Blake Snell.
Real.
That's got to be fake.
Real.
You threw that in there. Let's get a curveball.
Albert Pujols.
Oh boy. Real.
Go real too.
Fake.
Oh,
This is a real name.
Jose Alberto Pujols.
Okay.
Babe Ruth.
George Herman Ruth. Fake.
fake.
Yeah, name's right.
Gave it away.
Yu Darvish.
Oh.
Real.
Fake. Gotta be fake.
Fake.
What is it?
Fareed Darvish.
Fareed?
Yeah. Barry Bonds.
Real?
Oh. I'm gonna go fake.
Real.
Such a dope name.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Real.
Real.
Fake. They're both George Kenneth Griffey.
Okay. That's
Mookie Betts.
Real.
real.
Fake. Marcus Lynn Betts.
Wow, we're not good at this.
Tom Seaver.
Real.
Gotta be real. What? Tom Terrific?
George Thomas Seaver.
Oh my gosh.
Edwin Diaz.
Real.
Real.
Eduardo.
he's real. He's real.
Or, no, Edwin.
Chipper Jones.
Fake.
Real.
Fake. Cy Young.
Wait, what was
Oh, his name is Larry Wayne Jones.
Cy Young.
Cy Young.
Real.
real? It's a dope name.
Fake.
Oh my god.
Denton Truyoung. Not sure how they got Cy out of that one. Last one for the day. Didi Gregorius.
Oh, King DD.
King DDD.
Yeah, kinda.
Super Smash Bros.
He is actually he's knighted by the. He is what's the word? What's the word when you're like in like the monarchy? You know what I mean?
He's knighted.
Is he knighted?
Yeah.
He's
Sir
knighted
Sir
by-
Didi.
He's
Like,
Sir
like
Didi.
an Elton
yeah.
John type thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
but by the Netherlands. Yeah. So I'm gonna go fake.
I'm gonna go real. Just
It is fake. Marcuson Julius Gregorius.
What a great name. Famous birthday today. Mr. Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Wow.
Swedish football icon. Arguably top whatever player ever.
Played for LA Galaxy. Has some great goals.
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Man United, AC Milan, legend.
Bouncer and a lot. Barcelona, he played for a little bit.
I'll show you one of his goals after this, Truett. You will be astounded. His
Which
goal
one?
versus Germany, the over the head kick.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I just like his LA Galaxy one where he like had the ball on his foot, turned around and scored that one.
How old is he?
He's old now. He was born in 81, so what
He's
does
still
that mean?
playing.
41 years old?
Turned 40.
41?
Turned 42.
42.
Turned 41. You're right.
Turned 41 today. Shout out to Zlatan.
All right.
Happy
Happy birthday,
birthday,
Zlatan. All right, everybody. We're approaching 1 p.m. Monday, October 3rd, 2022. We hope you enjoyed Fun in the Locker Room. Like I said, make sure go into the YouTube, go into the Twitter. Also, go onto WXVU's site and then their Spotify and Apple podcast page. Check it out. You can look for us there, too. See our smiling faces. And make sure to, not next Monday. I know you're going to miss us. You're going to have no idea what to do between 11:30 and 1. It's okay. You'll find a way to manage. But the next week we'll be there, and obviously we're going to have 2 more weeks to cover. Baseball playoffs in way. NFL season's going to, it's going to be shaping up a little bit more. I think NBA preseason's been starting. Well, we just talked about the 36ers. So that's cool. I think tonight, wait, hold on. I got to pull this up right now before I lose it. I might have lost it. Tonight is the first time that, here we go. Jamal Murray is playing his first game after 536 days. Kawhi is playing his first game after 476 days. Ben Simmons first after 470. And Dame first after 276. So,
Ben
NBA,
Simmons is hitting a 3-pointer against the Sixers
Book it.
right now.
We don't
Book it.
endorse gambling, but bet the
But today,
house.
but
Bet
today
the
we do
house.
for Ben Simmons. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. And as always, Fun in the Locker Room, signing out.